Hello, welcome to this walkthrough video. I'm also going to talk kind of briefly about my, don't look, I know you're looking. Yeah, I was just going to basically go through a walkthrough video, basically just going through kind of how my training has kind of changed a little bit, and some adjustments I've made to my kind of microcycle, and then I'll basically walk through a little bit of this session. So, couple of things that have kind of changed. So I've gone basically from a split that I kind of have really loved to a split that potentially I might love a little bit more. And there's a few rationales or reasons for this. So I was running a pull, push, legs, off, pull, push, etc. off, and then repeat. Now, the only thing that I was kind of getting with this split was just a little bit of fatigue from, because I had an RDL or a hip hinge in my first pull day. Then by the time I got to this day, I was pretty tanked. So what I've done is basically, and my back was growing, which is fantastic. Like, I am prioritizing my back. Like, my pull session is like kind of, I have a rest day then a pull session, and on my other day I have a rest day then a pull session. So we are really kind of focusing on that situation. However, just due to the nature of kind of like how my legs kind of react. My legs really react to very intense hard training with low amounts of volume. However, with kind of all of this in concoction with kind of RDLs and hack squats, etc., it's kind of digging into my actual kind of back training, right? Which is kind of a bit kind of crap, because essentially when kind of reflecting on it, essentially, yeah, that my back could be growing more simply by doing less with kind of legs. So that's exactly what we're going to be doing like right now. So I've adjusted my training split to a pull, a push, a legs and a pull, and then a off, push, pull. So it's exactly the same. However, what I'm going to do is actually in this session, I've totally skimmed down all like some of my exercises. So say for example at the back end, like in my lower session, I was doing calf raises, adductor, then I was doing 3 sets of a leg extension or leg curl, 3 sets of a leg extension, hack squat 2 sets, 3 sets of a leg press, and then duet lunges on top of that. Pretty hefty day, but my legs were no doubt reacting to that. So what I've done is I've basically skimmed down this session, and then I've tagged on a couple of back movements, because essentially I was getting to this day, which is about so I have my pull on a Monday. This is a Wednesday. I essentially got to this kind of like in the morning of that day, and I was thinking like, my back is so fresh from Monday, even though I pretty much batter it on the Monday. It's so fresh. It's not sore. I'm good to go again. So like, why don't I hit it here, right? So essentially, I'm trying to improve my weak areas in this kind of in this off season, and I simply wasn't prioritizing it. I was prioritizing, but I don't think I'm maximizing my priority with the split that I was having. So essentially, what we're doing with this off season is trying to improve my delts and trying to improve my back. So at the front end
I'm not sure I understand.
So at the front end of this session, I was doing lat raises, right? And then obviously I'm going to try and still grow my quads and my hamstrings. There's no doubt about that. So I am obviously working out my quads, hamstrings, etc. But just way less volume. So for example, the adductor I'm only doing 1 set. For the leg curl I'm doing 2 sets. For the leg extension I'm doing 2, and then the hack squat I'm only doing 1. That's it. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to plug in at the back end of my workout. I'm going to plug in 2 back movements, prioritizing lats because they are a very weak portion of my back. Now I did think about pushing my back exercises to the kind of top end, but due to the nature of like, I still want to grow legs. I just don't think that, like, you got to imagine if I did like delts and then I did back and then I started to do like the hack squat, etc. at the back end, I just don't think it's going to be like kind of very good for overall, number 1, back health, but number 2, just quad growth in general, right? So what I've done, is basically change splits accordingly to really focus and hone in on my back, which would be pretty exciting. It's not like a major shift, and I don't really advise like these major shifts throughout like like from mesocycle to mesocycle or microcycle to microcycle, because I've actually made this change midway through, midway through my mesocycle, which I never normally do. However, it was just getting to the point where I was getting to kind of my pull session on the other day, and I just wasn't recovered from my kind of previous leg day. I was still pretty fucking tanked. So yeah, that's basically the only adjustment I've made. It's a very kind of easy, quick decision to make. So yeah, hopefully we'll see some gnarly back gains. But my back this year has developed so much, partly kind of due to mainly exercise selection, but also intensity as well. Like I think my back, my quads, hamstrings, etc. Them three in particular really react to high intensity, kind of low volume work. My delts really react to kind of a little bit of RER and kind of set progressing from there, and then kind of like higher rep work, etc. So keeping a few in the tank, more high volume, more higher rep work, and that's how they basically react. But it's quite interesting that, like, I know there's like this stigma of RER versus training failure, etc. And again, there's this kind of nuance that we need to consider. What, like, some muscle groups just might they might grow on very, very low amounts of volume and high intensity, and some muscle groups will kind of grow from RER a little bit more kind of volume and lower intensity. So you have to really be in tune. And I've got to the position where I've been training for 12 years and I've just started to figure that section out. So yeah, with a lot of my clients, I can kind of recognize it, but from like when you're self-coached, you're very emotional, right? You're very emotional with your training. So yeah, but that brings us on to a very kind of the next topic in the fact that I'm probably going to be looking for a coach very, very soon, because number one, just client load at the minute, but also making decisions like that for me where I don't have to overly think about my situation would be a lot better, really. So yeah, now we're moving on to the back portion of the workout. So essentially with this workout, I hit delts, then I hit calf raises, adductor, leg curl, leg extension, hack squat 1 set, which is all out, and then I'm going to my back work. But yeah, I'm actually looking right now to get some of these primer handles for my commercial gym, but trying to get hold of them in the UK is a fucking nightmare. So if anyone has like a UK plug, that'll be absolutely fantastic. But yeah, just hit them in the comments below. But yeah, like, trying to get these over here is a nightmare. I've actually contacted Prime, who actually make the handles, but they don't get them till May. So yeah, it's kind of a bit of a joke. I also want the CAS handles as well. But anyway, yeah, there's like an update into my kind of training split at the minute. Training's going very well. Nutrition's going very, very well as well. Very mundane, very kind of gaining at the appropriate rate, about 0.25% per week, which is pretty much bang on for me. Anything more than that, my body just says basically fuck off. Like digestion wise, etc. It would just say no, which is kind of a good thing. I've like noticed that in the past where I try to push it a little bit too hard or kind of a little bit more aggressive, and my body's like nah. So yeah, 0.25 per week. And then just trying to really, really hammer my back, because I really want to look different this year. But right now I'm in line to start prep in June still, which is great. Holding body composition at the kind of really relatively, like, I'm 2 kilos off the heaviest I've ever been, and I look way leaner. So that's good. That's a sign of muscle growth. But yeah, but I hope you all. See you in the next one.